Alright, Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praise and honor and glory be to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash, and I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that rule well, and blessings to the hopeful elect out there listening and learning and teaching this word in sincerity and truth, and the sincere hopes that we may edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shai, especially in these last days. And this is from the Sun. And as you can see on the screen, I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, it's hard to keep up, like, seriously, with the amount of things that are flying out. Oh, damn, look at that. Updated 1447. I didn't even see that until, that's spirit. And a 144 is a spiritual number, man. And 7 at the end of it. 7 is completion. Hey, we out of this bitch, man. The scripture says that now it's high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. You best believe it, man. So let's get into it. Spy arrests. 2 Iranian spies arrested by armed cops after trying to break into Britain's Nuke missile base, man. This stuff ain't stopping. Like, this non-stop mayhem and havoc that's happening out here. We told you, like, you know, about these sleeper cells that they got in these cities, and they can stage a double F at any time, you know. This could even be one of them, like, just on a minor level where they attempted to do this, but they're letting the public know that these things, you know, they're terrorizing the people, you know, mentally, you know, beating them to exhaustion with terrorists left, right, and center of one thing can happen over here, something can happen over there, and it's just a matter of time. All right, we're living in those times of, like, the movies that they show you. London has fallen, Olympus has fallen, you know, where them double Fs just pop off out of the blue, or Children of Men, them coffee shops, and, you know, because they're saying that these 2 suspected Iranian spies, they were attempting to enter this nuclear missile base. It says armed police swooped in on a man 34 and a woman 31 outside HMNB Clyde in Fastlane yesterday. All right, and I believe that is in let me see, Fastlane. Right, it's a Royal Navy base, main base in Scotland, located in Gairloch and Argyll and Bute. And I actually was speaking to one some Scottish chick, and I remember it's a couple years ago, as I was doing some work for one of my clients, and she happened to be there, and I didn't know she was from Scotland, but she told me that there was a lot of nuclear, like, sites or silos that be in Scotland. Now, I don't know if that's true, but this is where this happened. All right, and they were attempting to break into this nuclear missile base. So this ain't no joke. Like, things are definitely popping off right now. You know, now whether this is true or not, and maybe this is Esau just doing his thing and, you know, just getting the people to get more edgy, because remember, they need chaos to establish the new world order. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing. You know, and I actually have the article. This is what, as I was scrolling on my algorithm, I came across this. This is from the Scottish Sun. 2 Iranian spies arrested after a break-in at Scott's Fastlane Nuke missile base. Yeah. All right. So, you know, I'm not gonna really play the video, because I don't want to get any strikes or anything like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this scripture. All right, this is Ephesians 5:15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. See, Esau's moving fast now. You know, he's moving with that wrath. Revelation 12:12, because he knows that he has but a short time. You know, at any moment now, we can expect some sort of double F in order for them to push out that chip, you know? And ultimately, it's going to deal with you being able to make transactions that no man might buy or sell. Remember Revelation 13:16. The hour of temptation is upon us, man. This is the year of Jacob's trouble, spies getting exposed and all. And even that, you got these spies apparently breaking into this nuclear missile base over there in Scotland. It says the top security base is home to the Royal Navy's nuclear deterrent submarines armed with Trident II Doomsday missiles, and they got something called a Doomsday Clock for a reason. All right, and these nukes, we always say these nukes are not just going to be sitting in these silos, man. You know, there's going to be a time, an appointed day, right? A appointed time within the day where these missiles are going to be launched, all right, and shot and pelt the hell out of America and turn it into a, lake of fire. And the reward for the elect is going to be able to see the destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America, from them chariots. That's in Revelation, the 15th chapter. All right, but going back to this article, it says the man is believed to be an Iranian national. All right, and the woman's nationality was unknown last night. The attempt was to get in was unsophisticated, a source told The Sun. But it comes as Iran's regime is fighting for its survival, and after 3 weeks of non-stop airstrikes by the US and Israeli bombers. So we told you about, the scriptures speak about the dragons of Arabia and how these, they should get the upper hand. These Arab nations, and you got the Armenians, which are the Iranians or the Persians. They're going to be like a wild boar, and pretty much the scriptures tell you terror shall make him afraid on every side. This man, he's in for it, man. All right, they're going to start doing some stuff, and you're going to have these Islamic, geezers. They're going to start unifying, because remember, you got the Albert Pike plan for 3 world wars, and on the third, the plan for the Third World War was to, pit the political Zionists against the Islamic world, and then the rest of the people just, over the issue, divided on the issue to fight to complete moral, physical and exhaustion, to the point where they just can't take it no more. So they need chaos, man. And that's why the scripture says in 2 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. And it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, so we are not ignorant of his devices. So we got to be circumspect. We got to know what this man's doing. Okay? And like I said, that scripture says, they shall not deceive. If it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. It says, they remained at the vicinity of the base in their vehicle and were acting suspiciously. So they were just sitting in their vehicle, acting suspiciously. A defense source said, it is an offense under the Official Secrets Act. And look at the date, 1911, 9/11 in there, right? So is this code for them about to do something, man? This could be, hey, man, they might do something big. And it's remember the scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. Which ultimately that's dealing with the day of the Lord. And for those that are going to get caught unawares. But you see, them terrorists making them afraid. We're in a time now where you might be thinking everything's cool 1 minute, and next thing you know, boom, something just goes down. It says it is an offense under the Official Secrets Act of 1911 to approach or inspect or pass over or be in the neighborhood of protected military sites, even if it threatens the safety or interests of the state. That's an offense. All right, so they were just sitting in the vehicle acting suspiciously. But we told you about these sleeper cells. We told you about, these immigrants that be coming in, or that they've been allowed to come in and flood in. They've been put in these hotels and that, causing division among the people that are actually already here, which that's all by design. The scripture says one people shall stand up to fight against another and swords in their hands. That's ultimately the plan of the Most High. It's the Lord that's causing this divide, and this man's kingdom that's divided shall not be able to stand. We told you this. 2 Corinthians 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Oh, no, it's like here. From verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for their sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that, you can even tie that into that Albert Pike, when they start, getting these, people divided over what's going on with it, the Muslims, and the political Zionists and that's already happening. You got the sleeper cells. You had the one journalist that interviewed that Middle Eastern sounding man 2 years ago, and I did a quick little commentary on it on my live yesterday, and I was talking about how that guy said, soon you're gonna know who I am. You don't know who I am, but you're gonna know who I am. If you were smart enough, you would know who I am, but you don't know who I am. He said, soon you're gonna know who I am. Meaning that was a threat. Meaning, look, we got guys on US soil and we're ready to do something. There's guys on UK soil as well, so they're gonna get ready to do something big. And like I said, with that whole date, Official Secrets Act 1911, with the 9/11 in there, there's no telling what they're planning to do real soon, man. All right. So we just definitely have to keep our heads on a swivel. All right. Because things are definitely popping off. Right. We told you about that great wrath in a short time, and all of that stuff with the immigrants. What's going on over there in America? ICE. That's Jacob's trouble. That's them, auto abkeo. That's them using that as an excuse and as a reason to become more draconian with their measures. Remember, the scripture says they shall be like madmen, sparing none. All right, and all of these things are just gonna make Esau become more and more violent and more draconian. All right, it's green lighting them to be more violent. 2 Ezra 16:71, for they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. This is the time that we're in. It's all popping off. You can't keep up with the shit that's popping off out here. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. So we ain't got to worry, man. And ultimately, all of this shit, this turmoil and chaos, this is coming for the unbelievers, man. The scripture says all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Now, are we going to have to go through some things? Yeah, but the difference is we've got the wisdom and knowledge to keep us stable. We're going to have the protection. The Lord said the angels of the Lord encampeth about them that fear him and delivereth them. So that's when it's going to be known who are the chosen. And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. So we're going to be all right, man. We just got to keep the faith. All right? So when you see stuff like this, just know this is no small thing, man. There's some shit going on. There's shit going on out here. We got to keep our eyes open. All right? Anyways, just a little quick news update. So yeah, man, apparently Iranian spies lurking around nuclear missile bases and that in Scotland. And look at the date of that, man. You can't make that up. Anyway, with that, I pray you were edified with this lesson, man. Things are happening. All right, you can't keep up. Shalom to the elect.